Hello, good evening, and welcome, beautiful people, to UpYouWithEzinne, where you, my darlings, are the most important part of the show. My name is Ezinne Kanem, and I'm your host. This is our maiden edition, and we'll be looking at a woman's right to her dream.
First of all, let me say thank you very much for having me, and I understand this is the inaugural session, so that's amazing. I believe very much in the power of the first. The first of anything is very significant, so I don't take it lightly at all. It's nice to have a right, but a right is nothing if you can't actualize it. You know, you have to work the right. So it's easy to say, look, we have a right to something, but there's personal responsibility involved. What are you doing about bringing it to bear? What are you doing about working it so that it comes from paper to come to life?
For women now, because we are addressing mostly women, look at yourself in the mirror and the thought comes to you that, wow, my nose is too big, my tummy is too big, my arms are too, my chest is too flat, my bum bum is too flat or too small or whatever it is, and you accept those thoughts and you begin to see yourself the way your thoughts tells you that you are. You accept yourself that way. And then once you accept yourself that way, people begin to see you the way you are seeing yourself, and they begin to treat you as such.
When all your joints are aching and you have to depend solely on an analgesic to step out of the house each day, and maybe I might be a facilitator somewhere, or I might have somewhere that I have to go for an advocacy and all of that. I just have to come out smiling and all of that. I'm not going to go there and tell them, oh, my legs are hurting, or oh, this is happening. So it has its own shortcomings. It actually has its own, but each day we just come out to tell the world that, yes, I'm here, and my dreams are valid, polio or not, I'm a survivor.
I think stock taking is very important. I mean, away from all the noise of I'm having New Year resolution and all of that, you really need to dumb down and actually take some of the things you say to yourself seriously. As an old friend will say, it's time to call yourself aside and give yourself some advice. And this is the best time to do it and look back. You need to take stock of several things, and here are some of the things I've listed. Relationships. Are you in a relationship that is not working? Are you married to someone whom you've told yourself is not treating you well, treats you like furniture, and you've taken and taken and taken and taken? Take another look. Do you want to continue to live your life until you're 60 with this person? I think it's time to take another look. While I don't advise separation, especially because of children, it's important to take stock because you might die in that relationship, and children are better off with their mothers than without their mothers. So if somebody abuses you emotionally, physically, or spiritually, it's time to start moving. Find your niche, find your space, and continue to give to that family from wherever you are, but don't stay where you are going to die.
You could say, also look at UpYouWithEzinne. You look at the book, and it has evolved in different ways. So you got to look at it and say, okay, now I can make it so much better. I can update it. I can make it bigger. I can reach more people. I can have a podcast, for instance. I could do anything with it. I can get partnerships. I could have my goodness. I could have my own radio station. Why not? I could have bigger partners. I could have a talk show. And you're refreshing what is working. You're making it bigger and better and more impactful. That refreshing is just you thinking about it. What do I need? Who do I need? And how? How do I start to refresh? Is it your physical health? Is it your mental health? Is it the resources that you need? You put them all into refreshing and you continue on the work that is working for you.
Women are the backbone of any nation. And we all know that health is wealth. Every woman should get a health check, because when we are on top of our game, managing our husbands, managing our children, managing our businesses, our career, domestic health, relations, in-laws, and all that, we tend to overlook ourselves. A woman will be one who, rather than spend money to do a health check, would rather take her children that are ill to see a doctor.
When you soak up something, that thing becomes an integral part of you. You're full of that thing. You are immersed in that thing, whatever it is that you choose to soak up. And in speaking about soaking up,
my perception is that we want to soak up the good things. We want to soak up the things that when life squeezes you or when you have an opportunity to pay it forward and you're squeezed, what comes out of you is goodness, is good things that you can pass on. And the truth of it is you really can't pass on what you don't have.
When I say I don't think you're helped by God, I know what I'm saying. When you walk your journey with God, because most importantly, you can't even find purpose by yourself because your entire purpose is in God.
True.
So it's only working with Him that you will now find that thing that you think is the purpose that you have found. He's the one helping you through, because it's all part of, His grand plan for us.
Knowledge is power. If you do not know that you have something, you can't use it. So for me, it's first understanding that I was born just like my God. And so whatever is in Him has been deposited in me, which then means I am a creator. So now, what am I creating is the question. But for you to create, it's like you just said, planting an apple seed. Can it grow a banana tree? No, it will grow in its kind. And it will grow out its kind. It's like when the Englishman says garbage in, garbage out, right? It's whatever goes in that comes out. So are you showing up with excellence in everything that you're doing? So you're a shoe shiner. Are you shining it with excellence? Or are you just shining it because that's the only option that is there?
Because we're all energy beings. Sometimes we call into being what is not as if it were, because you have given that fear the power to do so. A woman who has fear of so many things, which I'm sure we will talk about, she needs to ask herself, what is the foundation of that fear? Why is she being fearful? Because if she doesn't find that out, she will keep making the same mistakes that brought on that fear.
Gender equality is simply about the sexes, men, women, having equal access to opportunity, being given the opportunity to come to the decision-making table, being there for each other, such that men support women and women support men.
We have to put our house together. We have to put sentiment aside. Because let me tell you, the stability, the development of every nation lies on the woman. No nation can stand tall. No nation can develop without the contribution of the woman.
You can't have 2 legs, for instance, and you're running a marathon and you decide to use only one, or you cut off one. If you want to be the best in the marathon and win the prize, you utilize every advantage. And women, being that advantage, should be brought into the equation.
In fact, the woman is the first factor that should be considered. So for us to achieve whatever we want to achieve as women, we have to come together. We have to support each other. We have to put our differences behind. We have to be very, very objective on whatever is before us that we want to achieve.
Gender equality is necessary. It's essential for us to build a better world. So do I believe in it? I absolutely believe in it.
As long as a woman shook up to speak collectively, we're saying woman stands in faith. Because we're standing on the shoulders of women throughout history and move on and fight evil with good.
Mentorship is just an influence, guidance, and direction by a mentor to a mentee. So basically, you are transferring what you know to a mentee, who most of the time will be someone who is learning. It doesn't have anything to do with age. At times, people think that it's an older person that should mentor a younger person. I must tell you that some of my mentors are younger than myself. So it's the experience we are talking about, and then the availability and the fact that they're accessible and passionate about mentoring.
It took me, first of all, facing my pain headlong. It took me deciding to shine the light on what had been hidden. It took 3 decades for me to actually tell my mother what happened to me. 30 years.
Whoa.
My mother had no idea what happened to me as, age 5, 6. So the first stage was shine the light on
the shame that nobody knew was there, because I am a sanguine and I'm always so happy-go-lucky. So you can see me and then think that I don't have issues and
problems or challenges, yeah?
So doing that was the first stage, and then I owned my pain, I owned my shame, and I said, what can I do with this?
If I take some time, we might take a break, we might rest, but we will still stand up again. We will continue the journey from where we left. We will always restart, even if we have to rest, no matter how turbulent the journey is, because sometimes the journey gets turbulent and you're thrown too many lemons from different aspects of life, which will never end the stage, but we will still get up. We will never fail. We keep moving on until we take the last one.
Women, you just have to show up. Why do you show up? Because you are worth it. Because you are worth it. Now, we struggle with self-limiting beliefs. We struggle with, from the programming and orientation from the past. People have labeled you, refuse to be labeled. Refuse to be put in a box. Unleash because you have what it takes. You have to believe in yourself. Nobody else will do it for you. Nobody will give that to you. You have to take it and say, listen, I know I have gone through stuff. I know I have fallen here, and every mortal is flawed. Stop limiting yourself by your flaws. Everybody you know, the ones you admire, especially, we're all flawed. So rise up from that thought process and tell yourself, listen, let your past be your story. And your story is unique. And your story is valid. It's yours. It's authentic. It belongs to you. Nobody else can share it as powerful and as good as you can. It is your story. Create whatever it is you've been through. It's a story. Tell it. So when you're showing up, you have no idea who's gleaning from you, who is learning from you. So I always say to women, listen, start from where you are. Stop despising your youth. Stop despising what you have and you think what you don't have is more. No. What you have is enough. Start afraid. Start incomplete. Start where you are, but you've got to show up.
Now, it is important because as long as you're professional in any industry, networking is a vital skill for successful career. A network assists one to progress in one's career quickly. Having a reliable network boosts your social well-being. Remember, I said reliable, because not all networks are reliable.
A woman who has defined herself is a woman who is aware, a woman who is mindful of herself, of her existence, of who she is, the power that she has, that God has deposited in her as a woman. She is not afraid to be who she really is.
The frenzy about money now, I think that's what's causing the lack of it.
The love of money is growing by the day. Money on its own is a beautiful thing because it solves a lot of problems.
The answer is all things.
Yes, as the olden days people said. I don't know if it answers all things today. Actually,
the only thing money doesn't answer is when it's time to die. You're gonna die, man.
You will die, man.
Yes, he's not gonna answer that. But every other thing, money will answer it.
Yeah, but the love of money, that is what is the root of all evils. Those of you who keep saying that money is the root, no, it's not money that is the root, it's the love of money that is the problem.
So that's what I'm saying, that this love of money is the reason why the money seems to be scarce and a lot of awful things are going on.
Yeah, the love of money is making money look scarce because people are not getting money the way they want it to come in fast. And so they're doing everything to make it come fast. And also, people are not content with that amount of money they have. They have built a picture of what life they should be living, fake life, false life. They don't have the kind of money to live that life. So what happens next? It becomes small girl with big God.
The first thing that occurs to many of us out there is, would they listen? You know, we've been speaking, some of us have been speaking over the times, and we're wondering, what has it fetched? The momentum we're building, is it worth it really? For me, it would be, who is speaking? who is the advocate, how much are we encouraging the girl child to be wholesome, rounded, and emboldened in changing the world?
There's a colloquial expression or slang, if you like, that talks about women being stacked up. So if you are well stacked as a woman, then you are well endowed. Okay, you're well endowed physically. You know, there's something on you to hold. Good. So that is on a lighter note.
Yeah.
All right.
I just thought of organization. I thought of a woman tracking the different expressions that she has as a woman.
I just felt that woman stack up, woman pile up on those essential things you need to, help you go through the tough or even smooth times of life. Stack up on things that would help you make sense of things that are happening around you.
If we were to say one word, I think it would be mindfulness.
Mindfulness.
Yes, being mindful of your journey. Be mindful of your strengths, be mindful of your weaknesses, be mindful of the things that make you happy, the things that make you sad. Just being mindful, living in the moment, enjoying the moment, reminiscing, looking back, thinking what could have been better. Thank God I had that experience, just piling up your memories and learning from them.
If you think about books, imagine seeing a pile of books, which is described as being a neat stack of books. Now let's relate that to the woman. So it should be a woman who is orderly, who is neat, okay, who is well put together and together in the way she goes about things.
We don't tell our stories because we don't even know our stories. I personally believe that women don't know themselves until they're in their 30s. It's basically when life has gone through us that we wake up and say, oh, I want this, and oh, no, I don't want this. So that has been a main factor because we don't know who we are, we don't know what we are, we don't know what we have, and we can't relate with our world, so to speak, where we don't tell our stories easily.
There are some things in the course of doing life as a woman, when you begin to stack up, when you begin to organize, you can now decide that, okay, this thing that I'm pursuing, I can follow it to the end, or it's not going to be worth my while. Then that's where effectiveness as a woman comes in.
Stacking up sometimes can be on useless things. You can stack up on a lot of useless things. At the time you need what you've been stacking up, you find out that what you really need, you didn't even get it. Water day house, we not buy. What of oil, we not buy. Okay, wait till we come buy. Do you get? Sometimes that happens. That is what the media does to some of us.
What did we buy? Long hair,
my sister.
Long nails.
We'll use it to fry egg now and eat, Abby, when the crucial things happen.
Let's tell ourselves the truth, women. Enough of the stacking up on the handbags, the shoes, the ashwabi, the hair, the makeup. Do I go there? I'm also speaking to myself. It's time to build wealth. It's a number of things that we're called to be as women. We're called to build, but we'll build with wisdom. We also call the fruitful vine. So we're expected to build on things, and not just building, but also to sustain. We've left the building of wealth to the men. But today, this time around, let's tell ourselves the truth. It's time to build wealth as women.
All that you do as a person is your own way of speaking up. It's with words, it's with your body language, it's with your actions, it's with your voice, with your tone, with everything. Men and women face sometimes the very same challenges, but the barriers for which women, have to surmount are a little harder. Same issue, but just, because it's a woman, especially in Africa, culture, tradition has over time made women feel that they are the lesser persons and you can't speak up.
Pain is not peculiar to you.
And don't wear the world on your shoulder. You might think that when you wear the world on your shoulder, help will come. No, help will not come.
In fact, you'll even run away from you at that point.
People don't like people who are miserable, dry.
Thank you.
And always complaining. People want life.
What does it mean to thrive? To thrive means to flourish. It means to prosper. Now, as a woman, we have different facets of our lives. Emotional lives, financial lives, spiritual lives. The issue is, are you flourishing in those aspects of your life? We're living in very, very challenging times. People are struggling. So when you're saying somebody wants to thrive, have they even stopped struggling before they can even strive? So those are the issues.
Listening is a cognitive ability that men and women share. While some people are known to be better at maximizing the cognitive ability, they do so by being intentional, deliberate, and conscious. Women often feel that men don't care, and due to the lack of attention or reaction, and that's because men are task-oriented in their feedback style. And it's assumed that because women often multitask, listening comes natural. Multitasking is antithetical to listening.
Because of the economic problem, a lot of parents, all they really need to do is to plan ahead. Once the children are off on holiday, you plan. You make plans for them, preparing them for a new session. And how do you plan? It's by saving. No matter how little you save, put it aside, because you know children will definitely go back to school. And again, if you don't have that high means, what do? Just look around for a good school that is not too expensive. Then put the child there so that you won't be choked up with too many things.
This is what I do when I speak to children, basically. So you ask questions and then heads down, no eye contact, and you see them jittering. So the first thing is look at me. Let's talk. So I believe if adults could encourage children, girl child especially, it's a gradual process. Confidence will build in, and before you know, they'll start speaking up. So it actually starts with the adults.
With the music that makes absolute sense. I mean, I was just rocking because this music took me back to the time when a girl was a girl, you know what I mean? Step by step, day by day, bit by bit, mountain by mountain, we keep shaking up until life becomes a cruise. Isn't that what we want? To be cruising over and cresting over all our challenges.
For a gender that thrives on spoken words, we should make use of it to take our lives up. Woman, speak up. Don't let anything stop you from speaking up for the life that you want. Practice until it becomes your default. This is where we wrap up today's edition of Up You with Ezinne. It's been another amazing one. Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook at Up You with Ezinne. Get copies of our book, Up You, and When Adversity Strikes, Fight. Big up to everyone that is involved in creating this magic every week. Starting with you, our dear listeners, our guests, our advertisers, the callers, the engineers on duty, my producer, the amazing Up You team, 98.3 Mainland FM, WFM 91.7. You all stay strong, stay blessed, stay lifted. My name is Ezinne Kufre Kanem. Until next time, it's Up You.